Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hey, it's me, Terry, back at it again with another episode of the Boy Time Podcast. And as always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul, and a reoccurring guest, I guess now, Bab Jab, second week in a row.
Hey.
Hooray.
So,
Yeah.
we've done the introductions before. You guys know who it is. It's episode 142 at this point, so...
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of people don't know is that we actually stockpile episodes. So
This is the same night.
yeah, this is like the 5th podcast that we've done. So I'm not sure if anything topical is going to come out. We do have an episode planned that we're going to record after the election night. But then, right after that, we're going back to these pre-recorded bits. How many do we have scheduled to do tonight?
At least 23.
23?
Yeah, like 23 me,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. We probably won't have enough time to do all that, but
We just gotta speed run a couple, do some editing, boom.
we'll just have to make like a game development company and do some crunch week to get these podcasts.
Yeah. Crunch week for the next, 5 hours, boys. Let's do this.
Yeah. Here at the Boy Time Podcast, we like to make a years-long work, and then we fit it all into 3 weeks. So we're modeling after Bethesda and CD Projekt Red and Naughty Dog.
Literally every other game studio.
And every game studio. So we're doing really good stuff here. We are starting to run out of topics though. Although apparently we actually have some, so.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe.
We'll have to wait and see.
I don't know. You're the one that said you had one, so don't maybe me.
I've been told that there's been some happenings with the Boy Scouts, which I would like to learn about because I've been living off the grid. This is actually the only time that I've interacted with human beings all day.
Take it away, Bab Jab.
Yeah, you go ahead. Bab Jab was the one that brought it up, so I'll let him take the
floor. It's not, probably won't last for more than 5 minutes because it's probably not a fun topic to talk about. But...
Just do it.
Okay, fine. Let me find the article again to get my numbers right.
Is this about the lawsuit?
I guess. It's about how 90,000 people filed sexual abuse towards the Boy Scouts of America.
That's a couple.
Yeah. I just thought that was a little bit interesting. Because that's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
And I saw somewhere that it was more than the Roman Catholic Church gets. So it's
now that's a surprising.
I don't know about that. I think the church is more of a systematic kind of raping of boys.
So was Boy Scouts.
But so was Boy Scouts.
is
I guess that's true. I guess, yeah. They need to make Spotlight too, but about Boy Scouts.
Now it's just as bad as the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I just thought it was a little bit weird.
I just thought it was a fun fact I'd like to bring up.
Well, I thought it would have been a bigger story than it actually is, because I don't know if it just came out today or if this has been an ongoing thing or not.
It's been going on for a while, but I don't think they've released numbers.
Yeah, I know.
I just thought it was pretty gargantuan news article. Yeah.
I think, that's important stuff. I don't know how big it's going to get because there is a lot of things happening right now. It's very poorly timed. But I doubt we're going to see any change.
90,000 is a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
It's quite a few, yeah.
Hopefully we actually see changes unlike we see in the Catholic Church.
Good thing I don't know how to build a campfire now because I never was a Boy Scout.
Good thing I never passed Cub Scouts.
Yeah, I was a Cub Scout. I got an email asking if I was ever molested or whatever.
I didn't. I made it all the way to Boy Scouts.
Oh,
man.
Where's my email?
I don't know.
Where's my compensation?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I knew they were doing stuff with that. Man, I didn't know they were gonna release numbers. I wonder what, because the Boy Scouts is already struggling financially. I don't know how they're gonna recover from this if there's
I don't think
90,000
they are.
cases.
Start selling Boy Scout cookies
They're
we
selling
go.
boys, am I right now?
They're selling boys.
or Boy Scout
They already
brownies
do
to
that.
combat the Girl Scout cookies.
There you go.
And then put marijuana in them.
There
Yeah.
you go. Well, that's only on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Or
Popcorn can only get you
Colorado.
so far, guys. Especially when there's only like 2 good flavors.
Oh,
There's
is
like
it
4.
popcorn?
Hmm?
I didn't know Boy
Well, I thought we
Scouts
were talking
did
about
popcorn.
cookie.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Boy Scouts sold popcorn. I remember selling
But yes,
popcorn.
Boy
yeah.
Scouts did sell popcorn.
Wow.
Yeah, like in front of Hy-Vees and stuff.
Oh.
Like,
kernels?
Not much of the popcorn. It's just like there's like 20 flavors and there's like different tins. There's like holiday tins.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
They're like $50 for like a big tin or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember the popcorn being that good.
Where am I going to get my popcorns?
Walmart.
Yeah.
That movie theater.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I mean, weren't the
Maybe.
Girl Scouts like redoing their whole thing?
Both of them were.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Are they
here,
like
it's a
associated
little
at all?
bit.
Or are they like
No,
like
they-
two entirely separate things?
They hate each other.
Oh, okay. Gender.
This is
war.
gang war.
I'm not entirely
Gender warfare. If you...
Yeah, I mean,
Call of Duty gender warfare.
yeah. I don't remember how, like, which one started, like, changing things. I think it was the Boy Scouts were the ones that first, and this was like the first time I had heard of the Boy Scouts struggling financially, but they wanted to like increase the amount of people that could join the Boy Scouts, so they officially opened it up to girls.
Oh yeah, that's what happened.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Mhm.
And so they were like,
That was
we
a
need
while ago.
more. Yeah. And then the Girl Scouts were like, you can't do that. But also, we're going to let boys join the Girl Scouts now. So it's
Yeah.
like,
But like low key.
yeah. They were kind of mad at the Boy Scouts for doing it, but then they just did what the Boy Scouts did. So
That's it.
They're-
We gotta
they're
join the Girl
separate things.
Scouts.
I mean,
Yeah.
if they weren't petty, they could just combine it and be the Scouts of America, and then just teach children like the lessons that they need to learn.
Nah, man, this
Like
is
those
like
simple
Democrats,
tasks
Republicans.
both
They
genders.
can never unite.
I don't know why they don't just.
Not. Hey
Come
guys,
on.
let's
Here's
learn,
how to tie a
learn how
knot,
to
and then
tie a
like-
knot.
Yeah, and then like, hey, here's how to iron and sew. Like, these are valuable skills that both genders can learn.
Yeah.
So it'd be a lot easier if you just combined them.
Like, what's the difference between Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts?
The
Plus,
boys go out in the
eliminate
woods and
the-
be epic gamers, and then
Yeah,
I don't know
big
what the
buff
Girl
men.
Scouts does because I'm not a girl.
But combining them would eliminate that whole stigma of, oh, that's not a boy
Exactly.
thing to do. I don't know how to iron a shirt because I'm not a woman, and that's I'm gonna go build a campfire.
Well, yeah, that would be like the perfect world, but
Right.
we're seeing things now of like that Harry Styles photo shoot that was just released like
Oh, yeah.
as we're recording this,
Top
and
it.
everybody is freaking the flip out because he's wearing a dress, and it's like
Yeah.
he's
He
a
was kinda
boy,
cute,
he
though.
can't wear a dress. And it's like, okay, David Bowie's been doing it like
Yeah,
His
like, are
entire
you people
career.
blind?
As a lot of people say, the Scots have also been doing it for quite a long time.
True,
that's true.
and it's manly and
Isn't
over there.
isn't it?
so.
Yeah, isn't it a thing that like kilts and stuff like that, like they help air out down there, and people are like, "Why would you wear pants? Like it just gets like hot and sweaty."
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Big brain.
I'm
think
not
I remember
familiar
hearing
with
that
Scottish
story.
culture.
Scottish.
I mean, they live in like mountainous terrain, so they know.
They wouldn't know. Yeah.
They wouldn't know they would know what a breeze was like.
But isn't
I like
like
that Ben Shapiro's back to his ways though. That was
yeah, it was like kind of funny when I saw him like where he was like, please stop questioning our democracy. And then everybody's like, okay, Ben, I'm down with you on this one point. Let's see how the future of your journalistic integrity continues. And he's like, Harry Styles is not a girl. And it's like, okay,
We
there
need to
he is.
keep in check our masculinity coming from me, Ben Shapiro,
Ben
like
Shapiro.
5'2"
The most
man that sounds like a
masculine man in the
12-year-old.
world.
Here's the thing, is that Ben Shapiro is like a huge advocate for like men, right? He's like, you know, there you see this like suicide rate in men is
Maybe
so
man
much
children.
higher than women, but he doesn't like look into why. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you look into why like more young men are killing themselves than women, it's because of these like masculine things that we force upon every single dude in our society. And it's like, maybe if we
It's too much for
just
men.
got rid of the stigma and let dudes just be themselves and not have to fit into this box. It's the same thing that's happening to women. I don't want to like discount that.
Well, yeah.
But like, it's the whole like not showing your emotions, and you have to like be a strong soldier trooper kind of guy and be rough and
Build a
tumble.
bench 350 and
Yeah.
do 12 at least 3 pull-ups in the gym exam, and that no one can do. And they're like, oh,
Yeah, I don't,
sorry, my bad.
no, it's okay. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you can't be like a champion for men in this one area and then just like try and then chastise a man who is trying to tear down those stereotypes because he's like infeminizing our men, which isn't even a thing. So
Yeah.
He is a conservative after all.
I know, and I know
This
it's
is
his
true.
job to like
Oh yeah, it's
pander to
literally his
those
job
people.
to do this. He gets paid to do this, but
I don't know, just like as someone who's all about facts and not about feelings, the suicide numbers don't lie. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, got him.
you just got owned, Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, put that in the
Come on the
compilation.
Not like it's
podcast
that.
respond.
Not like it's that hard to do, but you just got
I
owned, Ben Shapiro.
I would like it if Ben Shapiro came on the podcast.
You would have to respond to us on the Boy Time, not on the Daily Wire, on the Boy Time
on the
podcast.
Boy Time podcast.
Yeah, we need a platform. He's already got one.
No one watches Daily Wire anyways. Come on.
I would love
I
it.
think a lot of people watch it.
I would love it if for our first
Give me the
guest we
facts,
got
then
like
sure.
a high profile political person. It's just like we got Mitch McConnell on the podcast, and it's just like, okay, who
Why
on
are
your
your hands
management?
so purple?
Why do you look like a dying turtle?
Well, that's an interesting point.
I think Rudy
I've been
Giuliani
asked this
would be a
many
great
times.
guest on the
Oh,
podcast.
that would be a fun one. We could just
And I told him I wanted to book the 4 seasons, and they said okay. And then they take
So
me
I
to
says, give me the 4 seasons, I says. And then they says, okay.
That's what I would like start off by asking him what it was like to be the mayor of New York during 9/11 just to soften him up. And then I would just rail into him for the next 45 minutes.
For real, man.
I've never really heard him talk until like on election day when they were like, "This is fake," but like that guy is like to the stereotype a mobster.
Oh, yeah.
Like the way he acts and talks and even portrays himself, it's like, oh my god, this guy's straight up a mobster.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what he even does now. Like besides being like on Team Trump.
Why?
Like what's his like political, because he was the mayor of New York. He's obviously not the governor of New York because that's Cuomo. And I don't know. I don't know what he does. I guess I should
Lots of
probably look that
stuff.
up.
Do people like or dislike Andrew Cuomo? Because I hear conflicting things. Like sometimes he's a good guy, sometimes he's a bad guy, and I don't know what to think of him.
I think he's doing his best, but he can be a little goofy.
He can be a little
Just a little
pretentious,
silly.
but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I think he's done a lot of things that are easily memeable or just like questionable, but I don't know. He seems to like actually care about the people of New York. And I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then
lot
Trump
about him.
goes and says, "Yeah, because of Cuomo, you guys won't be getting the vaccine. So rip Cuomo."
That kind of sucks.
Well, I think what he's doing is I think Cuomo wants it to be like a certain percent success rate. And right now
Yeah.
it hasn't reached that threshold, which is a fair
That's a fair
thing.
point. Yeah.
If you want to mass distribute a vaccine, you don't want to do it if it's only 90%, which I think it's at 95 now.
Yeah, there's like I saw 94, 94.5, and 95 for that. What's the new one? Not Pfizer, but
Yeah, I forgot what the new thing is.
it started with an M, I think.
Yeah.
It's
But
funny
yeah,
that Trump thinks the vaccine will be out by the time he's still in office, which isn't going to happen.
No.
technically he said within the next few weeks, so making it even more a tight schedule.
If that's true,
I mean, it takes
good.
like months to disperse that in like wide
Oh, yeah.
quantities, though.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, how do you distribute that?
I guess we'll
that's
find
a good
out.
question.
I don't know, man. On the news, I saw videos of facilities getting a lot of bottles with maybe medicine in them. I don't know. I think they're already in production. No.
Like, you can't really make it free.
No, well, that's a good question because I've seen stuff when the Pfizer one came out. Joe Biden did a conference, basically addressing that very issue of distribution, and he said that basically there's no way around not having it go through a private company because of
Well, yeah, that's America.
there's no way that the federal government will be able to pay for like mass distribution of this virus, of this vaccine. Because we just don't have the money for it. Yeah, redact that.
Now Ben Shapiro's going to come on and say, you know the plan.
I'm sorry.
You know too much.
You know too much.
Let's say, hypothetically, you know too much.
I'm sorry. You can shoot me in the
I
streets
would
where
hypothetically
I stand, Ben.
need to end you.
Okay, you can shoot me.
For the sake of the argument. I'm gonna shoot you.
Die.
Don't say that because Trump will do it. Most likely go to president.
But I think what Biden was saying is that he wanted to make it subsidized for lower income families.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I'm not sure what the cutoff would be, but if he manages to do that, that's good. But there's no way to make it free.
My guess is as long as you're at least not better off than a McDonald's employee, you're probably good.
Probably.
At least.
But there's a large majority, there's a large portion of the population that is not better off than a McDonald's salary. So it's like...
Yeah.
Those are the people that get it because they can't avoid not leaving the house.
Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see when it finishes development. Because if it really finishes development in the next couple of weeks, then like, good, yes, it's good that people will have access to the vaccine. But also, I think if Trump is in office when the vaccine is finished, a lot of like people are going to miss out on getting it in this first wave.
Yeah, and it'll get politicized.
And it
so
will
it'll delay
get
everything.
politicized. Yeah.
And then there'll be a stigma, and then a certain group will want a vaccine.
Mm-hmm. Well, even then, I'm wondering if, like, I'm not sure if it's going to be to the extent that we saw with Trump, where, like, every single, like, thing that Obama passed was a quote-unquote Obama-era regulation, and he repealed everything and then just reinstated it again just so it was a Trump-era thing. So I'm not sure if, like, the vaccine that happens and it comes out and it's distributed under the Trump administration, if Biden's going to come out and be like, this is a Trump era regulation, repeals it, and then just like does it again.
No, Biden's a centrist.
I wouldn't think he would do that, but I am also not super confident in the precedent that Trump set. Feeling me?
Yeah. Well, you're basically just moving into a burning house, so you'd be like, hey, we can all live here. We can all suffer together.
Yeah.
So
it's like moving into a burning house and being given one bucket of water to work with.
Yeah.
It's free on charge. What more do you want?
I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess, because he still hasn't conceded. So we still have to deal with some stuff before we even talk about vaccine distribution.
13 days after the initial election day, and no one has conceded yet besides Kanye West.
That's
Kanye
actually
conceded
true.
on election day.
Yeah.
That's pretty epic.
Yeah. Did Joe
That was the most
Jorgensen
depressing
concede?
picture of just
I don't know.
Kanye sitting by himself watching the TV of the election results.
There's no
Like,
way
you-
he thought he was gonna win.
No, he
I
was
know,
not.
but it's still a really depressing picture.
It's
I
a
don't know if I can
sad
find it.
picture, but like, come on. I don't think Kanye was gonna be like waiting by bated breath as the votes started coming in and expecting.
He got
it to just-
60K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Still
you
pretty
from
good.
Iowa.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my grandparents voted for Kanye. I'm not 100%, but the way that they were talking
I respect
before,
it. I respect it.
well, because I don't know. I'm not sure if my grandpa, I'm more sure that my grandpa did it, but I talked to my grandma and she was like, I can't vote for Biden because if Biden dies, then Kamala's going to take over and she's going to turn us into a socialist country. But I also can't vote for Trump because he's a womanizer. So she's like, I think I'm going to vote for Kanye. And my mom's like, don't vote for Kanye. But I was like, I don't know. It's better.
Even
than
might
to
be
vote
but
for
dark
could vote for Kanye.
Bambizzy. Yeah.
you. Yeah.
We could have Cuddy as the vice president, and like
Pusha
T as like
head of secretary or treasury or something.
yeah,
Yuck.
that would be
Calm
great.
down.
Can you imagine designer as Secretary of State?
Nah,
He'd be the
he's the
Speaker
press
of the
conference
House.
guy.
He's the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, that's true. The Speaker of the House.
I think he'd be the good press conference guy. You know, when those were used to be a normal
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Like the Sean Spicer.
Yeah, or the whoever the new chick is that's brain dead.
I don't know her name. Although I think she
Blonde
was fired
Fox News
too,
looking
wasn't
chick
she?
that every other person looks like. No, I don't think so.
There was another one in between Sean Spicer and the blonde one.
I think they replaced her with another blonde one.
No. She had like brown
Man, why are
hair.
they all blonde?
Oh, that was I know who you're talking about. I can't think of her name.
Yeah.
She lasted for a while.
She did. Well, it was probably a good idea that they got rid of Sean Spicer because he couldn't stop posting his Twitter password on Twitter. And I don't know how you do that multiple times.
Oops, sorry guys.
I don't know how you
My
do
bad.
that. There's so many steps you have to take to make a tweet. And he consciously
did that
went in, made a
once.
tweet, pasted his Twitter password, and then clicked the tweet button. And he did that at least twice.
Oh, what a legend.
How did you do that once though? Like
I don't
there's
know.
nowhere like around the tweet thing. I don't think
Government
this
official,
is
by the way.
password here.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's
Maybe he
it's-
like never saved his login for Twitter, so he has to log in every single day. So he has the password copy pasted in his clipboard,
that's
and then he's old and doesn't know how to use a phone, and then it just magically pops up.
That's what I'm thinking it is because it isn't like his password is like Sean Spicer White House.
Yeah, it's like-
whatever. It's like random letters and numbers. So he has to have it clipboarded. But I just don't know what the
It has
process
to be
is
random
to play to
numbers
tweet
because
it.
he's had to reset it so many times.
Yeah. And they're both like they're only like 9 characters long, so it wouldn't be that hard to hack into his account because it's
Right.
like do you know how long it takes to hack
They
something
make
that's only that
Chrome
short?
extensions that work better than that.
Yeah.
They randomly generate you like a 20 character thing that's just random.
Yeah. I think Firefox does that by default. It's just in the
Yeah, they do.
engine. But I think Sean Spicer's probably doing it through his phone. But I just don't
Yeah.
know how he posts his password.
I don't know.
I don't get
If
it.
anything, it hurts them more if they use social media, which is a good thing because it's like you have the president of the United States who is having a meltdown on Twitter where
Mhm.
Twitter themselves have to step in and say this is not correct
This dude's an
information.
idiot.
Literally every single tweet they gotta say something.
It's
And they'll-
weird.
Yeah, it's weird. And then you got people like K-pop stans who flood Twitter trends with like pictures of pancakes or whatever they did just to stop Make America Great Again from trending,
Yeah.
which is like
Which
Yeah.
makes it trend, but then it doesn't make it trend for the reason that
Right.
it was originally
Yeah.
trending.
I don't
so
know.
it's like the more they use social media, the more they're just shooting themselves in the foot
It's
with the younger generation at least.
Well, I don't think the vast majority of the people on Twitter are not going to be like
Swayed
Trump.
by what they see on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, they just aren't going to be Trump fans. That's on Facebook. if we're talking like more generally and using stereotypes. You see them on here every once in a while, but it's like the vast majority of things that trend are like bashing Trump or whatever. And maybe that's just, using it's like, you looked at these trends in the past, you should look at this stuff. And maybe I'm just being sheltered by Twitter, but
I don't think you
Open your
are.
eyes, sheeple.
I think it's just Twitter's more one way leaning and Facebook is one way leaning.
I think so. Although
Even though Facebook has more young people than any other social media website, but I don't think those young people post as much.
No. Well, I think a lot of young people just have it and don't post on it.
Like me.
I've seen heard from a lot of people who just have Facebook and then they just like use it to like sign into accounts or whatever.
Yep.
So
That or like
I don't
games.
think I'll ever download it.
yeah, I don't have it.
I know a lot of mobile games will like use Facebook as like keep your account safe, like if you change phone or something.
Mm.
Cause I used to be a mobile gamer.
Ew.
I know.
Gamer.
Back when I had like 20-minute bus rides, and that's when I'd play them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
my
good
favorite
days.
console is mobile.
Yeah.
I like the Stadia.
Mobile Google Stadia. That's my favorite.
Google Stadia, baby.
Dude, I'm so into mobile that I bought a controller to play mobile games on.
I bought a controller to play Clash of
I'm a
Clans.
true mobile gamer.
Yeah. Okay. Paul had a topic.
Well, yes, I did. So, as you guys know, hopefully you guys know,
Nope.
Alex and I live in the good old state of Iowa.
Oh
and
yeah, I know
so
what
we
you're
have
talking about
the
there.
governor, Kim Reynolds, and she had a quick 10-minute talk around 6 tonight that I watched.
Uh-huh.
Basically, instead of the rules being if there's first of all, this is all about mask mandate and all that stuff, but there's no pure mask mandate. But if you're in a building where you can't social distance for more than 15 minutes, you have to wear a mask, which I mean, that is so easy to get around. Just say, oh, hey, this guy's over here, I don't really wear a mask. And it's like, that's not going to do anything.
Yep.
But other than that, it went from if you're outdoors, at first it was 100 people required for it to be mask required. Now it's what was it? I think now it's 25 or 30.
Mm-hmm.
And indoors it was 25, and now it's 15 for mask to be required for a gathering or something.
Yeah.
So it's it's getting there. It's getting better, but it's not there yet.
It's in my opinion, it's too little, too late.
Also, she's blaming Iowans for it now.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's true. It's true that if you want to get into her shoes, she's been saying from the beginning that it's every Iowan's responsibility to take precautions for your fellow Iowan, which if in a perfect world that works, but we don't live in that world. And she has just closed her eyes and plugged her ears to everything that's going on. And she has doubled down on her dumb and stupid opinions since day one. Conspiracy theory. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but there's a conspiracy theory that I've heard about that at the very beginning of lockdown in March, Kim Reynolds and Donald Trump got together and they had a meeting where basically Trump was going to lower corn export tariffs in exchange for Kim Reynolds going easy on the lockdown to basically, just in case every other governor did a mask mandate and lock stuff down, then he could point to someone and be like, look, Iowa's doing it and they're fine.
Oh God, I don't want to be that one state.
I know, but that's basically, that's the theory, because while every other state was locking down, she was softballing everything. So that's and there was a decrease in corn tariffs. So that's what the theory is.
Yeah.
I
And
don't, I'm not huge into conspiracy theories, but that one I can kind of see just because I
yeah.
know how shady Trump and Kim Reynolds are.
Yeah. And it also comes down to like you can't really tell like if she's like actually serious about how she was talking about like the hospitals are getting like way too much like way too filled. Like what was it like 200 what was it like a day, was it, I don't think, was it death, I don't think it was deaths, or was that 200 deaths, I don't know, it's 200 something, and she said basically this is gosh dang too high,
Yeah.
and so she wants to start
I wonder
like
why.
getting
Yeah.
she wants to start cracking down on it. So like I don't know if she's like just saying this like to make it look like she's gonna do it or she's actually gonna do it. Apparently it's gonna be reassessed a week from now, so we have to wait till then to see what she's gonna be doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just a waiting game for her to see what happens there. But it looked like she was genuine, but I can't read people's feelings, so
I don't know. I don't, she's very disingenuous. She's been pro-Trump since day one.
yeah.
I don't trust her at all with any of
Oh, neither do
the
I.
mandate stuff. She did close bars. Bars have to be closed at 10 p.m.,
Yeah.
which is like baby step, but okay.
And here,
Getting-
that's a miracle.
I know. Especially like since we closed down and then we were one of the first states to open back up. So like I don't know. It's kind of a miracle that anything's happening again just
Yeah.
because honestly I'd be really surprised if even Republicans voted for her again just because of she's basically walking back on what Trump's saying now.
I don't know. I asked my dad, and he said, "Well, she hasn't done anything bad."
She's
hasn't done
exclusively done
Exactly, she hasn't
bad.
done anything.
No, she's been suing schools.
Oh,
Do
I
you
forgot
not
about
remember that? She was suing Des Moines, the metro
Yeah.
school, because they wouldn't
remember
go
that,
back to in person.
Because schools don't get shafted enough already.
Yep,
I think at least like 10 schools are now fully online, though.
maybe. I know a lot of
From
schools
a
went
lot of
fully
places.
back in person, and then this huge spike happened, and I'm pretty sure a lot of them had to reconsider.
Oh yeah, I've seen news articles saying, "Oh, this I don't think it's districts, but like this school like is going like mostly online."
Yeah, that would not surprise me
Let
at
me do
all.
some research real quick.
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
Another 12 Iowa schools districts have received online only waivers this week, totaling 23 since November 1st. So 23 districts are online only.
They got waivers.
Well, waivers, yeah, but
That's the thing that Kim Reynolds is doing, where basically she's pick and choosing what schools get to survive, essentially. So like
You
she's
get to
taking a
live.
look at all of the districts that she like kind of has rule over, but there's no real precedent that the governor should be running like public school districts that are in cities. Usually those are up to the school board or at like the very like maximum the mayor. There's no way that the governor should be able to come in here and be like, everybody needs to be 50% in person or else it doesn't count and you have to keep going into the summer.
yeah.
But now what she's doing is she's being like, okay, I get to choose what schools get to go online, and it's going to be the schools and districts that support me. So if there isn't enough parallels to Trump by now, then this is like the biggest one to point to be like, how do you still have a job? And I don't know. But unfortunately, we're
We'll see
stuck
in
with her
2
until
years.
2022.
And then another 2 years, possibly Trump coming back. Although
I'm not sure.
I highly doubt that.
I doubt it.
What's he gonna be in his 80s by then? Well, nearing at least.
Close. But also Biden's up there, so
He'll just
Yeah.
make a media company and then make money.
yep. I
Go
don't know
bankrupt
what
for a
else.
seventh time.
Well, actually, I think that I can see him doing a media company because he's starting to push people away from
Oh, he's
Fox.
for sure going to do that.
Yeah.
Wasn't
if
he
there's
asking
any
people for
logical
money
reason-
because he spent too much money on his campaign, so he's asking for
That's
like
what I've heard.
donations?
Okay,
Yeah.
it's actually kind of shady. The whole controversy surrounding that is he created a website, or not him, but his like campaign set
Yeah.
up a website
Trump knows
for
program.
for voter fraud. So basically, they were going to have this huge collection of money, and then people could donate to it if they wanted their money to go towards the lawsuits of suing states for recounts. So naturally, a lot of people donated to this that were in the Trump kind of stadium or whatever. What they didn't look at was the small text, though. And basically, any donation under $4,000 was going straight into Donald Trump's pocket. So these people who thought that they were donating to keeping the democracy well oiled were donating to Donald Trump's checkbook.
Nice.
And if that's not the
Played
shadiest shit,
itself.
yeah. And people on like both sides were freaking out, which I thought was kind of epic. But you know, that's since blown over. The website is gone at this point, and he's shut down the voter fraud hotline because people kept sending him prank phone calls. So
People supposed to make prank phone call content now.
I don't know.
Come on.
We'll find a way.
We'll find a
Surely
way.
It's
one
actually
person-
insane how much it's just gone downhill. Like,
Yeah, it's only gonna get worse for the immediate future.
right.
It's
but
going to level out once Biden gets in. I don't think Biden's not gonna pull anything like this.
no.
He's not going to do anything.
I would be like floored if Biden had like a foundation that was like, hey, I found out that a bunch of judges have been lying. Donate to this fund, but if you don't donate under $2,000, then that goes into my checkbook. Like, Biden wouldn't do anything like that. He's a lot
As
of
long as he
things.
doesn't make it worse and we actually like stay afloat, I think it's okay.
It's just we're
A-okay.
gonna float by, and that's gonna be fine.
Then it's going to get worse.
And then it's gonna get worse. But
I
don't-
doubt even if he does go for a second term, I feel like he's going to be to the point of being too old to be like, because he's going to be probably in his 80s by the time, if he does get a second term, he'll be in his 80s like pretty
If he
soon.
makes
I
it
think
to
it's
the
like
second term.
74 or 76 or something. But like, I feel like when you're 80 years old, you're not really in the position to be a president. But
well, isn't he gonna be the oldest president?
yeah, the past two elections, no matter who
repeating it.
won, they were going to be the oldest president.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary.
Yeah. I
We're gonna
feel
have
like
like
all the old
95-year-old
people-
presidents soon.
Right.
We don't really want that.
I mean, to a lot of people, older means smarter and more time in politics. So
Yeah,
Well, I
but
think people like Kamala
Maybe
are going
in
to be
Eastern
representing
countries,
younger
but
people.
not in Western countries.
yeah. Well, yeah,
People treat elderly people really bad in this country.
just in Western societies.
unless they're running for president,
well,
and the smartest people.
yeah, actually, kind of.
It's probably
if-
part of the reason why people are scared of Kamala being in power, because she's actually under 70 years old.
It's
Yeah,
because she's
not
black.
That's the reason, like Andrew Yang and people like
She's
don't.
black,
get
she's a
very far.
woman, and she's
Yeah.
a Democrat, which means she's automatically like a communist.
Yep.
So
I guess.
That people aren't scared because she's young.
negative.
That might be the one thing that they aren't scared of. They're scared about literally everything else about her that she couldn't control.
I guess. Yeah, when you put it that way.
Yeah.
It's actually insane to me how people call her a communist. Like, do you have any understanding of the political spectrum at all?
No. People who claim that there are communists in the country don't know what communism is.
Guys,
American education
equity,
system.
equity equal communism? Question mark.
Yeah, that
Healthcare
people
is
don't
communist.
understand.
When are we gonna liberate Scandinavia from the communists?
That's a good question.
Never, because they're our buddies. They're next to Russia and they aren't threatening us, so they're our buddies. Yeah, I don't know. It's so messed up. I don't know. And there's not really anything to really do about it, because it's like, what what is there to do to like be like, hey people, you don't know what communism is, and they're just gonna be like, oh, then you're a freaking red sympathizer, you commie. I don't know. It's very bleak.
Ignorance.
Yeah.
Or it's
Pretty
like
much.
talking to a brick wall. So it's like that's kind of the same thing.
Well, even like I can see socialism being scary to people because it is
Which is
government
insane,
control of
but-
the economy. But I don't think that anybody, like absolutely nobody in either party, like is a socialist. Especially like if we're looking at Democrats, nobody is a socialist. Not even Bernie.
I mean, Bernie is, and he's in Senate, but yeah.
Bernie he's a democratic
socialist.
socialist. He doesn't
Yeah,
want
but he's a socialist.
he
at
doesn't
heart.
want the full government control of the economy, does he? Because
I
that's
mean,
what
he
socialism
has very
is.
socialist policies.
Yeah, but like socialist policies and being a socialist is different.
Yeah, but if he had the room to do what he wanted to, he'd make us socialist.
Probably.
But he was being reasonable and making it like, hey, this is democratic socialism because this is how this can work in this country.
Yeah. I think publicly there are no candidates that are socialist.
Mhm.
There's not a single like thing that
I mean,
either-
at this point, it's career suicide, but
yeah. And
it's just of how idiotic people are. But
I think it's fairly fair to say that we are in the third Red Scare. And I don't
yeah,
think
which is really dumb because all we want is healthcare.
Well, yeah.
We're the only developed country that doesn't have a universal health care.
We don't have socialized medicine, and we're the United States of America in the year 2020.
Well, yeah.
Oh, I want my private health care because it's better for me.
Well, it's easy for everybody to ignore what Europe, well, especially what Europe is doing, just because we're an ocean away from them. So it's literally just like, oh, those guys way over there, they're doing something. Well, that it doesn't really affect me.
Well, it's also this American thing where it's like we're better than everybody because everything's a sports game because my mind can only go through two options and we're the better person in every single thing.
Yeah.
So
it is.
I
that
think
weird
it's
patriotism.
I think it's a dumb mindset that everything needs to stay the same in this country. Like we can't allow change. Like, and I'm like
that's conservatism at its definition, right?
Right, but it's like I'm talking like, oh, the Constitution says I can't do this, so I'm not gonna be able to do it. It's like I don't think it's fair, like to follow things that were written 300 years ago because we're not the same country we were 300 years ago.
Right.
We're not even the same country we were 30 years ago. So
Yeah.
it's like, why are we following all these rules that were set back in 1700 when none of it realistically applies anymore? Because
That is a good point. And I think we did talk about this a little bit last week, but I think it is
Yeah.
important to bring up that most other developed countries, they have
I mean, we are a
set,
company, but yeah.
essentially, but we like most other countries have like they renew the Constitution every like whether it's like every 20 years or every like 15 years or something like that, where it's essentially a brand new document, but it is updated fairly regularly to address problems that are happening in the society at that time. And America is like one of the only ones that hasn't updated it at all. And we've just been amending the original document since its instatement in 17 whatever.
And there's
But-
still very glaring problems with it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And there's a lot of stuff that is dusty because you have to like remind yourself that we had just finished a war with the British Empire. So there are a lot of things that are remnants of revolutionary ideas and stuff in our like constitution. Whereas if we look at the French Constitution, there's nothing at all like we need to guillotine everybody who is like freaking out over the Jacobins or whatever. There's nothing like that in the French Constitution.
guillotine the rich.
But there's stuff like
I'm for that.
we need to like you can't board soldiers, and it's like okay,
Yeah.
that's kind of a given. We can move past this stuff and actually focus on you shouldn't like do these like chokeholds on innocent people, and like actually like work at like the constitutional level to like fix the societal issues. But unfortunately, I don't. And this is me putting my prediction glasses on. I don't think I will ever see that day where we update the Constitution.
I think that's realistic point of view
until either an uprising or another civil war happens.
It would have.
I don't think it's going to get to the point of civil war, but I think it will get to the point of like an uprising or like a very large protest of some sort.
Unrest.
But the level above, level above protest. Because it's like, well, I don't have socialized medicine, but at least I can't allow soldiers to stay in my house.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad that's the third rule that's in there.
Yeah. And I think because there's like 3 stages to like the unrest-o-meter, right? Where it's like resistance, revolt, and then revolution. And if you asked me in June, I would have put us at revolt with the George Floyd stuff and the Portland stuff, where it officially wasn't just resistance, right?
Yeah.
Like there was full on like fighting the like Homeland Security in Portland, where it's like, oh yeah, this is a major event. If I don't know if history is gonna even remember this part,
but unfortunately, nothing came out of it. So again,
nothing came out.
History is gonna remember this because you have to remember who's president in 4 years, and you have to remember everything that's happened in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So history will remember it.
It'll remember it. I don't know if it'll be like, because nothing really happened. There was this huge revolt, but what came of it besides Mississippi changing its state flag?
Well, that would be for future pages that we don't know yet.
I know. That's what I'm saying, is that it isn't something like the French Revolution that was like, it happened at this time to this time, and during this time, this is what we see happen, where there was this massive amount of violence, and there was immediate results of like King Louis getting killed and Marie Antoinette getting killed, and there was an immediate like parliamentary kind of house set up. But there was nothing
so
like
saying that the president needs to be killed.
I'm not saying that. I'm not advocating for assassination.
Don't CIA, don't come to my house. That was a joke.
Yeah, Babjeb is advocating for assassination, but I'm not.
My bad.
Yeah. We've always questioned Babjeb about it, but he just has strong opinions, you know.
It's true. I don't know.
I'll never know what I'm really thinking.
What's interesting to me is that I wonder if the Civil War happened 40 years later, if there would have been like actual change in the Constitution. But when the Civil War happened, like the Constitution was still relatively new. It would have only been like 3 generations past. So it would have been like, oh, my great-grandpappy was alive during the Revolution. Why would we change the Constitution? At this point, it's so far removed that it's like, I really have no relation to the people who wrote the Constitution. And that really shouldn't be a thing. I was going to try to not make this a politically centered episode again.
You said that before we started recording. And then you hooked Babjeb in with the 1-2 punch.
Well, I don't know.
Well, my topic didn't help either, but
no, it's okay.
Yeah,
I didn't hear the minimal politics.
No,
so
no. It's okay. It's important to talk about.
Yeah, you're right. It's all your fault.
We talked about most of this last week, but yeah.
But again, this is the only healthy conversation I have about it, so I'm not too opposed to it.
It's not like we got anything else.
And I don't. Yeah, it does stress me out. Just because I'm afraid of spreading misinformation, which I'm like fairly confident that
nobody watches our podcast.
I know, but I'm just saying.
You just say opinionated stuff. You don't say facts. No.
Well, opinions don't really mean anything.
Exactly.
Facts
this is the guy that said opinions don't mean anything, and we just recorded a 2.5-hour video last night.
That was just like for fun, but I'm talking about like, I don't know. Like if I was just like, we did a podcast and I'm like, here's 10 reasons why World War II was good. Like that doesn't matter at all.
Number 1, it had pretty cool guns.
Number 1, the Japanese got bombed.
There was a lot of cool video games that came out of World War II.
Call of Duty World War II. No, it was inspired by actual event.
World War II.
It's actually proven that the new guy in Hiroshima made Japanese want to make anime, so anime came from World War II. So I think that's pretty cool.
That could be a positive.
Guys, have you
Depending
seen
how you look at it.
have you seen the meme where it's like the little dominoes lead up to the big dominoes, and the little dominoes is Archduke Franz Ferdinand getting assassinated, and the big domino is hentai.
I've seen that way too much.
It's funny because we like that meme.
Yeah, I liked it the first time I saw it.
I mean, it's not technically wrong.
It's not. Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. I was gonna.
Maybe if he just didn't get assassinated, none of this would have ever happened in the past 150 years.
Yeah. That is kind of true, but also
Nah,
I
it's
learned
not.
about what led up to that assassination, and I actually don't blame the Serbs. I blame them for other things, but not the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Because that guy was an asshole. So, yeah. Let's just say
I just want to know why my war criminal can be non-binary in Call of Duty.
Dude, I didn't get that far where we commit war crimes yet. Stop spoiling.
That's the whole game.
I know.
You haven't played it at all?
I got like 4 missions in.
Okay, I haven't played any the past 2 days. So sorry. I think I only have like a couple
Jeffrey
missions left.
Bebos, and I'm a non-binary black CIA.
Jeff Bebos, the
Reagan
black
administration.
non-binary Black Ops member.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate.
My name is just Bell. Because I thought it would be cool if I didn't have a name. But it
Just
was really because I
didn't put a
couldn't
name.
think of anything.
Oh.
I'm just Jerry Ginkleton because obviously.
My name is Bell.
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 Like the middle Bell is like the nickname where it's like Jack the Jackhammer Hammer. Or you could just say Jack Hammer.
Yeah. I like choosing the non-binary option though because every character says your correct pronoun, and it's really funny because nobody in the 80s would ever say that. So I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Wait, do they say
aggression.
they?
Yeah, they say there, and they
Oh,
like, heck yeah, dude.
okay. But yeah, I'm right there with you. They
See?
would not say that in the 80s.
Mm-mm.
They wouldn't say that 5
Especially
years
not the
ago.
people in that campaign. Yeah, especially like Ronald Reagan says they like.
That's not true.
I always knew
I wonder if they
Ronald
got the
Reagan
real
as
Ronald
someone
Reagan
who's
to voice act.
progressive.
I think
I
so.
think they did. I think they. I was gonna say they Princess Leia'd him, but you haven't seen Star Wars, so.
Yeah, he walked into the meeting room and he's like, you killed this guy and I'm going to go give cocaine to poor communities. And then, yeah.
I didn't unlock that mission yet, so I'm still hoping that comes in a
Probably a
DLC.
side mission.
DLC.
Secret side mission that you have to decipher.
Black Ops. We need to ruin black communities, soldier. You need to go in there and sell them crack. Sir, yes, sir.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd play that.
I like that the campaigns are getting a little less pro-American though.
They're actually providing commentary.
A little bit.
Yeah.
There was still
Last
a
time
lot.
Modern Warfare was
just
good,
war
besides
crime
the
bad.
part where they put like the Russian massacre on like a highway in like the Middle East, and then they put it
Instead of
it's
in
like
Cuba.
actually an American highway, and they made it a Russian highway in the game. Like,
Yeah.
you kind of messed that part up, but every other part was kind of cool.
Yeah. I don't know.
But Black Ops is like, hey, we're committing war crimes, but so is the other side.
Yeah. I think that there was one part of it that I actually liked because the first intro part where you're meeting with Reagan, I was like,
kill me
this is just going to be some stupid pro-America, pro-Reagan bullshit. And then it kept going, and this is going to be mild spoilers, but it isn't anything crazy. It's just like, there's a point where you're like looking at you're like in a Soviet war room, and the Soviets are pretty much saying the exact same thing that Reagan said. And I'm like, okay, that was actually pretty surprising because they actually had something to say where it's like both sides were pretty much the same because essentially they kind of were. They were just like, we need to protect our way of life, and it was just the same thing. Whatever. I don't need to get into the Cold War. I hate the Cold War. It's stupid and dumb, and I wish it never happened.
Too chilly.
Chill. When's the sequel coming out? Warm War.
Lukewarm War.
Lukewarm Warfare.
Well, I don't think we would ever live to see it, because if there was a warm war, everybody would be dead. That was the whole reason it was the Cold War. It was because nobody exploded. We got close.
Then why can I fight on battleships in the multiplayer if it's a Cold War?
There was no fighting. Why can I fight?
I don't know. That's one of the weirdest ideas, is to have a game set in the Cold War that features open warfare, and I don't completely get it, and it's kind of hard to do this.
No, but you're Black Ops and it's dark operations, so nobody knows about it.
So nobody knows about it. Yeah, that's their cover up. Which is a pretty reasonable cover up.
Yeah, but you raid the KGB. Like, there's
you also fight in the middle of Miami.
Yeah, there's like no way nobody would have noticed that.
It's Call of Duty.
They just cut off Miami for a while. Just like, don't let anyone know.
Also, I'm pretty sure Miami at that time was going through the cocaine wars.
Oh, for sure.
Which
Miami had a war.
They did.
Oh,
it was one of the scariest times in American history.
Even scarier than the Cold War.
Even scarier.
Well,
especially if you lived in Miami. Yeah. Essentially,
zombies are probably the scariest part of the Cold War.
Yeah, that was the scariest part.
In the end, it is an arcade shooter, so it doesn't really have to make sense.
No, it doesn't. It just, there are some
I'm
moments
honestly surprised that they've like progressed this far to where they can actually provide commentary on things instead of just doing, I'm American, so I'm gonna win everything. I'm gonna be a tough guy who shoots all the Nazis.
Yeah.
Well, Treyarch's usually pretty good at stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not like super like deep, and you're never going to see an award for storytelling out of them, but it's like, yeah, they can provide a decent experience because the missions are really fun. That's all I care about.
Yeah. I will say it is kind of hard to like go in and be like, okay, they're actually doing something here, when it's like it's just the constant switch of where they want to like be taken seriously, and they're like, we have something to say, and then it's also a huge, you're having this gunfight in the middle of the Soviet headquarters, and it's like there's no way that this happened. Why? So it's like, you want to be taken seriously, but you also just want to have a fun time, and it's like,
it's not like fact. It's just like,
I know.
Hey, here's our take on it.
I know it's just a little bit tricky as a history stupid idiot baby boy here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Don't worry, everybody else seems to be a stupid idiot baby when it comes to this game too. So
it is Call of Duty.
The Call of Duty fan base has the biggest case of like memory loss that I've ever seen.
Be Goblin gamer brain.
What do you mean?
Because people are trashing this game because they say it sucks, and then everybody, I guess, just forgot when Modern Warfare came out this time last year, and everybody said it sucked, and that they'd never buy another Call of Duty, and here they are sitting in front of their TV playing another one.
Do people not remember Ghosts?
Oh, people remember Ghosts. People actually like Ghosts now because Call of Duty fans like to wear their nostalgia goggles and then forget that it all kind of sucked.
Wait, do they like
Ghosts wasn't as bad as people made it out to be?
Well, this game is the closest I've felt since the original Black Ops in 2010, and people hate it. Although that's all what everybody's been talking about is like, I want the old Call of Duty feeling back. It's like, here you go. This is literally it.
The old Call of Duty.
I don't know.
Like, this is the most fun I've had with it because Modern Warfare kind of took the arcade shooter aspect out of it. Like, it was very pretty.
It didn't feel like a Call of
whoa,
Duty.
this looks really cool and realistic, and everything looks epic. And then you get to this game, which obviously doesn't look as good because it's an arcade shooter. It's more cartoony, which is what Black Ops is.
Mm.
And it's like, hey, I've had a lot more fun playing this game than I have Modern Warfare. And it's been like 5 days, and the game's broken still.
There are problems with it. But
there's obvious problems with it, but that happens every year in launch because
Yeah.
that's what Activision does is they crunch people.
Yeah.
I can't change my calling card. I can't hear audio chat.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to hear audio chat though. That's the thing.
I want to hear Jerry say, "Have a Sea of Thieves day," and then hear someone tell him to shut the flip up. And then
But the
call him a
audio is
slur.
like so staticky and stuff right now too. So it's like sometimes it adds to it, and other times like I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah. Man, we had a funny interaction the other day. I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
I forgot what you said, but the entire lobby's mics lit up, and they're like, "Shut up!"
I think I was just like, "Hey guys, let's win the game." And they're just like, "Shut the fuck up, you idiot!" I'm like, "What, guys? I just want to win."
You don't know the Call of Duty player base then.
Oh, I know. I know.
It's either 13-year-olds who have Bluetooth mics with their moms on in the background, or 25-year-olds who are very mean to people.
Wow.
Yeah, that covers our
40-year-olds who don't know how to
experiences.
use their thumbs.
Yeah,
But they know how to say the N-word, so
they sure do.
I guess that works.
And they say that a lot.
I too. I'm scared to stream that game when we interact with people because I'm gonna have to like insta-mute anybody at any time.
Oh, it could
But-
be funny.
I'm having a lot of fun with it. It might be a broken like mess, although I haven't encountered a lot of the issues other people have. But it runs great. I'm getting 100 frames like on medium to high settings.
It's also compared to Modern Warfare, which was not optimized in the slightest.
No, it wasn't.
So
I honestly think people like Modern Warfare so much is because it looked very pretty and it like looked very next gen, but the gameplay was utter trash.
it didn't feel like a Call of Duty game.
I didn't have fun playing it. Like it didn't have the addictive feel that Black Ops has, where I can get in a lobby and then I don't know why I'm having fun, but I just continue to have fun for 3 hours straight.
I'm addicted to the zombies mode. Like, I haven't stopped
Yeah.
playing it like in a while.
I think they killed the zombies mode.
People
Yeah,
are like,
I
"Oh,
like
it's
it.
because it's different." But it's like it's the same people who say that they're bored of it because they don't change it, and then once they make changes, they're like, "I want the old zombies back."
Welcome to the gaming community as a whole. Everybody is so dumb and stupid.
It just gets accentuated when it's Call of Duty because like we've been playing this game for over a decade now,
Yeah.
and the fan base has never changed.
Hmm.
Actually, they've complained more and more.
Yeah.
Which I don't know the last time people have like said, "Hey, this was a great Call of Duty game."
Advanced Warfare because they got Kevin Spacey.
I actually liked Advanced Warfare quite a bit, but that had jetpacks in it. That was the first jetpack game, I think,
Had Kevin Spacey.
and it had Kevin Spacey in it.
Yeah. He was my favorite guy in Baby Driver.
Yeah. But I don't know. It feels nostalgic and new at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I imagine
it has like.
You
ahead.
go. Oh, I was just
Go on.
gonna. I was just gonna say, the way that you talk about it is kind of the way that I talk about Breath of the Wild, because like when Breath of the Wild came out, like Zelda fans hated it, and it's like, guys, this is like one of the best games ever, and you just hate it because it's different than every other Zelda game. And it's like, shut the flip up.
I'm not saying this game is great because it's not at the current state.
Yeah.
But even when it's a broken like mess, I love it.
Mhm.
Even though the camo challenges are bugged and the emblems and the calling cards are bugged and blah 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 blah.
Everything is just kind of in this unfinished state.
Yeah, which
But it is Activision, so
it's
no
Activision,
surprise
and
there.
this was actually a Sledgehammer and Raven game when it started, and they gave it to Treyarch with a year and a half to develop it.
Oh, yeesh.
And Modern Warfare got 3 years of development time.
Yeah. Well, 1.5
that's
years,
why-
you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like criminal. Nobody.
That's why Modern Warfare looks so pretty. They got 3 years and a brand new engine,
Yeah.
and the netcode's better. But I don't know. They're reusing assets from Black Ops 4 and crap. People have shown screenshots of like, here's a placeholder image because it's in the same engine. So that's going to pop up if something goes wrong. But I don't think people realize that every game is a copy of another game. It's not like they build a new engine for every new game, especially when they release one every single year.
Yeah, especially in yearly franchises. Like,
Yeah.
they're not remaking the wheel every Assassin's Creed.
Right.
Like
You can
obviously.
update the engine, but it's the same engine. It's the same basic parts.
Yeah.
But I think the public opinion will sway, as it usually does in Call of Duty.
Probably. It's just people don't like
Everybody
it 'cause
loves to
it's
come
different.
out and just hate on it immediately.
Yeah.
And I have to defend a mediocre game because it's so dang fun.
I
A game
think
doesn't have to be good to be fun.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
I'm loving it.
that's I remember that's what Donkey said about Black Ops 4 and his like
Mhm.
best of what was that 2019 or 2018?
2018?
It's
I
like
think.
it was like Call of Duty came out and showed that a game doesn't have to be good to be fun, and Fortnite showed that a game doesn't have to be good to be played by literally everybody else. Like, yep,
True.
that's true. Yeah. Well, I guess we're about to wrap up.
Are we?
We're an hour and 5 in. I mean,
Ooh.
we don't have to, but I was just gonna shout out. I've been addicted to this G-Dang podcast over the past couple of days.
Better be this one.
Oh,
It's not, is it? This guy.
no, it's
Night
not.
is his own podcast.
I hate to. I was just gonna do a boy of the week, but I literally just got a text from my mom, with some unfortunate news. So, I'll still do the boy of the week, but I'm gonna make it short so we can end this podcast.
Okay.
Let's see. I've been listening to this podcast. It's called Behind the Bastards, and it's stories about like the worst people in history, and like kind of humanizing them, like not in like a good sense, but in kind of like we make these people to be like these horrible monsters that like there's no way that anybody could ever replicate what they do. And this kind of takes like stories of their life and kind of just like puts it into human terms. So
like the Hitler being abused by his father and living in the streets kind of thing.
kind of
Showing you that he was human, but that doesn't make him good.
kind of that is a part of it. The one like essentially the Hitler one was like it was talking about Hitler's
Knew this was-
gastrointestinal problems.
Oh, I
And,
didn't know
like,
he had those.
Yeah, he would.
And he had so many problems.
He had a lot of problems, but the apparently he had this doctor, and Hitler had this problem where this is going to sound silly because it is, but he had this problem where he just couldn't stop farting, and like he would have to walk out of war meetings because like he was so embarrassed about it. So he had this doctor who gave him this medicine, and the medicine it was a kind of poison. So it was right towards the end of World War II where Hitler was essentially taking like 4 times the daily recommended dose of this poison and like claiming that it saved him, but it also kind of drove him to insanity and then he killed himself. So
We did it.
Yeah. It was just kind
Nice.
of like this kind of crazy story about like I had never even heard of this like side of the story. And
Neither have I even.
I'm not like super crazy on World War II, but I know enough. I knew, but not all apparently. But I've been watching. There was like an episode on Saddam Hussein, and Hussein was
Ooh.
like towards the end of his I guess career, but also life. He kind of like didn't want to be a dictator anymore, and he like fell asleep during meetings and like just like got there super late and didn't want to be there, and he was writing erotica, like novels, and it's just like kind of weird to hear that side of these horrible people, and I still think that they're horrible people, but they're kind of silly, you know. I recommend it.
Recommend.
It's called Behind the Bastards. They're the boy of the week for me.
Nice.
Yeah, so I guess we'll just wrap it up then.
Yeah. With Babjeb muted indefinable wrapping it up.
This episode is brought to you by the number 3.